So there's different types of adoption that can occur. One of the most common adoptions that occur is a family type adoption. That could be where a step parent adopts a child, or grandparents, or aunts or uncles. That's one kind of adoption that can happen. Another type of adoption that can happen is when you've been a foster parent for a period of time and that child is then eligible for an adoption. So that's another type of adoption that can happen. So, if you're wanting to adopt a child, depending on the circumstances of the case, there's different steps. If it's a family member who falls under the statute, such as a step parent, some of those steps may be shorter. If you're possibly going through an agency or you're not related to the child, then other things could be involved, such as home studies. Obviously, to adopt, you've got to make sure the parental rights of the parents, of the biological parents, are terminated. So that's the first step. And if that's already happened, or sometimes the parents may agree to terminate their parental rights, that can lessen the cost of the adoption. But where adoptions can get expensive is when they're contested, and either a parent is not wanting their parental rights terminated and they're contesting that, or maybe more than one person wants to adopt the child, and then the court has to consider both petitions for adoption and determine what would be best for the child. Agreed adoptions can be anywhere from $3,500 to $5,000, and contested adoptions can be much higher. It's hard to say exactly how much they would be because we can't anticipate how much either a parent will fight the termination of their parental rights, or how much another person petitioning to adopt that child will fight the case. But the cases can easily go into $30,000 or $40,000. So tactically, there's different ways to terminate parental rights. One can be that the parents agree, and then we execute the proper paperwork, have the parents sign that paperwork, and we can terminate the parental rights that way. Another way would be if it is contested, then the judge would have to make that determination and find, that there are grounds to terminate the parental rights. There's several different grounds. For example, some of the most common used grounds: if a parent hasn't paid child support for more than 4 months and token payments don't count, if they've also not visited for more than 4 months. But also the court can look at, if the Department of Children's Services has removed the child from the parent's home. The court can look at whether or not the parents have made substantial compliance with the permanency plan, and that could be another way to sever the parent-child relationship. Another ground that's often looked at is if a parent has found to have committed what's called severe abuse against the child. That could also be a grounds for terminating the parental rights. So if you're wanting to adopt, obviously if you're a family member, one of the first things you can do is talk to the biological parents to see if they're willing to terminate their parental rights. Because if they are, that process is much less expensive and can be done faster. If you're not adopting a child that's related to you, there's different agencies that place parents with children. For one, or two, you can always become a foster parent through the Department of Children's Services and try to adopt that way. So if you're considering adopting, whether it be a family member or whether you're wanting to go through an agency or through the Department of Children's Services, please feel free to reach out to us. It would be great to have you come in, do a consultation with our office, and that way we can determine what we think is the best route for you and for your family, and we look forward to helping you at Mandy Hancock Law.